morning and welcome back to the channel. Join me and Steve this morning at Happisburgh, not Happisburgh. It's written down as Happisburgh, but it's pronounced Happisburgh. Is what I'm led to believe anyway. Come to the lighthouse here. We wasn't actually intending to shoot this to begin with. We were going to go down to the tide bow down there and do some long exposures down there. But the sea's coming in really quite fast, and we're worried if we go down there at the moment, we'll get stuck. So we thought, okay, well, we'll shoot this lighthouse first. So I've framed up a composition here of the lighthouse, and I'm putting it right in the centre of the frame. And we've walked around the lighthouse a bit, met up with some of the photographers, and found that over this side was probably working best for us at the moment, because they've got the wind coming directly towards us, so the clouds are coming towards us. And we've got just a touch of pink in those clouds, which is looking quite nice. So I'm just going to retake that shot now. So yeah, putting the lighthouse right in the centre of the frame. I'm in it just over 100 mil. It's quite a nice basic image to get started. I'm going to take some different compositions as well. I'm going to place the lighthouse maybe on one of the thirds and see if that works out a bit better. And one of the other reasons why we've come around this way as well, there's a pillbox on the right hand side which is looking a bit unsightly in this scene. So by coming over here, the pillbox is just out of frame, which looks quite nice. So yeah, quite nice photo to get started with. The sun is just starting to rise quite nicely, so getting a bit of light on the lighthouse. I'm going to reshoot that now, bracketing the exposure just to make sure I get all the information in the shot, and I'll blend these together in Photoshop. So reshoot that now, and yeah, I think that's quite a nice photo to get started with. So I'm going to put that on screen now. Let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, I'm going to frame up some other compositions and I'll talk you through them. Okay, so I've just taken another shot here. It's actually really quite nice because we're getting the sun, as you can probably just make out, rising up just behind me, or just to the sort of left of me, coming through and just kissing the side of the lighthouse here, just beautifully. And then behind that we've got some nice dark clouds starting to roll through as well. This is actually working out to be really quite nice. I've actually now placed the lighthouse on the right hand third pretty much of the image, and just leaving the nice sort of big empty space there of these clouds rolling through, just a touch of the blue of the sky behind just coming through as well. Just going to reshoot that because that's really quite nice, especially with that soft light on the lighthouse. Yeah, I really like that. Oh yes. Let me put that on screen for you now. Right, so you've just seen those images that I've taken, the one with the lighthouse pretty much in the centre, and again also with it on the right hand third. I'm going to reshoot that just one last time, again with it in the centre with these clouds and this light that we've got now. And Steve has actually braved it and he's gone down to the tide bow. There's a little sort of slipway here, you can kind of get down and get back up if you really need to, if the tide comes in too far. So I'm going to go down there and try and grab those shots. But we're here all day, so there's lots of different opportunities around here. Me nor Steve come here to the east very often. So yeah, it's good to get somewhere very new to us and really just explore the area for the day. So yeah, it's going to be a good day. Looking forward to this. So I've taken that shot again with the light and the clouds that we have with the lighthouse in the centre of the image, and I have just taken one more photo as well. Again, putting the lighthouse in the centre of the image, but taking up just the bottom third of the image with the lighthouse. And as you're making the use of that big expanse of sky with the textures and the clouds that we've got, looks really quite nice. The portrait orientation, yeah, a different sort of shot for me. So I'm going to put both of those on screen now. Out of the two, let me know which ones you prefer. But I'm going to go and try and find Steve. So I've come down to the tidal bow now, and I've framed up a lovely, really minimalistic shot. I've got my 100 to 400 lens on. I'm actually standing back a bit from the coast because, as you can see, it is kind of coming in, and I don't want to get wet. But yeah, in at about 300 mil, and I've just got the tidal bow here right in the centre of the frame, but with the light that's coming up, and you can see it on my face, it's just lighting up one half of the tidal bow, which looks really, really quite nice. I stuck my 10 filter on, my case 10 stop, and a CPL just to cut off some reflections. It's given me around a sort of 30-second exposure, but it looks absolutely beautiful on the back of the camera. Just a really simple, minimalist image. So I'm really happy with that. I'm going to pop it on screen now and try and frame up some different compositions. What I've done with this particular shot, just to explain as well, by being in at 300 mil, I'm cutting out the horizon, so it is just about the sea and the tidal bow. What I might opt to do, which might require some processing, is I might actually take a similar shot, but get handy in Photoshop and just have it the tidal bow a bit smaller in the frame, and actually just get rid of the horizon, so we just have the sort of the sky, the sea, and the tidal bow. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but it's something to try at least. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. I don't use my 10 stop filter enough, to be honest with you. Where I live in the Midlands, you know, I don't really get a chance to use my 10 stop filter enough. I don't like silky waterfalls very much, so I tend to go sort of half a second, so 10 stop's useless for that. But for this sort of photography, this really minimalist sort of seascape photography, really works a treat. It's nice to be able to use that filter. So let me put this one on screen for you now. So Steve the reindeer's joined me, and I've taken a couple more images. So I did what I said I was going to do. I've put the tidal bow pretty much on the bottom right hand third. Again, using the 10 stop filter just to smooth that water out, getting around 30-second exposure, and just got a bit of the sky in the frame as well. You can see you've got the sort of the tidal bow, the vastness of that smoothed out sea, and obviously the vastness of the sky as well, which looks quite nice. Then I moved over and did a very similar shot, but I put the tidal bow in the centre of the frame, again in landscape orientation, using the similar sort of principle. So you've got the tidal bow in the middle, the sea nicely smoothed out, and then a bit of the sky as well. And then I've gone for another shot here in portrait orientation, using a similar sort of composition to what I was doing back there with the lighthouse, where I put the tidal bow here, right pretty much at the bottom of the frame. You've got a bit of obviously the sea in, but then you've got a big vastness of this sort of nice clear sky with just some slight wispy clouds running through, and just a touch of pink in the clouds. Having said that, I may opt for a black and white on these photos. I'm not too sure yet. We have got some nice colours, just subtle pinks, and obviously the blues as well, and the green of the tidal bow. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking black and white. I might do both. I'll put both on screen maybe, and let me know which one you prefer. But yeah, really quite like these. Something really different for me. The sea is coming in quite a lot. Steve's about to get wet feet. So yeah, I don't know if we've got much longer on this beach, because it's really coming in now. Call me insane, but I've gone for a really minimalistic shot here. Really minimalistic for me. I'm thinking a square crop, but basically I've put my super telephoto lens back on. I'm at about 150 mil. And I've just pointed the camera straight out to the sea there. Again, doing a long exposure. I've got a 10 stop polarizer and the free stop on there. Again, it's giving me around 40-second exposure. So that water is completely smoothed out. But every now and then, a cloud, quite dark looking cloud, is coming across and it's going out towards the sea out that way. What I'd like to try and do is do a bit of an exposure blend. One for the long exposure of the water and a much faster one for the actual sky itself, just to capture the detail in those little clouds. So if I can get one or two little clouds placed quite nicely, just in the frame, just above the sea, then it could look quite a nice image. Again, just as I say, smoothing the water out, going for a square crop and just having that sort of nice simple scene, smooth water, sky, couple of clouds. I don't know, for some reason that's really appealing to me. So just waiting for the right cloud to come through now. If it does, I'll grab the shot and pop it on screen. Let me know what you think in the comments. So just going to stand around a bit for now and wait for the sea to start to go out a little bit, which it has started to do. Because you can probably just make out there, you're starting to see a bit more of the tide bow. So if you can get sort of that mirror image of both ends of the bow, it could look quite nice. So yeah, I'd probably say about another 10-15 minutes, we should be able to get another shot of the tide bow with that beautiful sort of mirror of the bow itself. So wait it out for a bit. The water's not retreating as fast as we thought it might. I think we've probably still got another half an hour or so till it gets low enough so we get sort of that mirror image of the tide bow. So what I think we're going to do, head back up towards the lighthouse there, because there is still a touch of golden light, and from here at least, although there are some cliffs in the way, it looks like there's some nice, quite moody looking clouds behind the lighthouse. So we're going to go back up there, reshoot that, and then may come back down here in a bit once that sea's retreated just a little bit more. So going to catch up with Steve and see you up there. Right, so we've come back to the lighthouse, and as we suspected, the light really is quite nice up here. And just to add to that, the clouds have got some lovely texture to them, really quite moody looking. So I've taken similar compositions to what I was taking earlier, placed the lighthouse on the right hand third, and at 17mm, and yeah, it's just filling the frame quite nicely with those clouds in the background there. What I might also opt to do is maybe do a black and white, throw my 10 stop on and just try and get some drag in those clouds because they are kind of coming towards us. That's one potential composition we can try and do. The issue we are facing, and Steve just mentioned this in his video as well, it is quite breezy up here compared to down there. So yeah, I'm going to have to experiment with this a bit, I think. Play with different focal lengths, play with different shutter speeds, and just see what we can do with this breeze. Steve came up with a good suggestion as well a moment ago, which is trying to get the cameras low to the ground as possible, just to try and minimise that shake as much as possible. But the light, let's look at the light on the ground over there now, it's beautiful. It's going to take that quickly. This is really, really quite nice. There's dark clouds in the background as well. Oh, that's beautiful. Let me put these on screen and yeah, let me frame up a shot for the long exposure and I'll talk you through it. So as you can see, I've got the tripod quite low to the ground now, just to try and minimise as much of that shake as possible, because it really is quite breezy. The issue I've got at the moment though is, as you can see behind me, there just aren't that many clouds, and we're just not getting that detail that we want with those long exposures of the clouds coming towards us. So we're just going to stand here for a bit, wait it out, and just see if those clouds do develop a bit more. Shooting at around 30-second exposure. Again, got the 6 stop and the 10 stop on, and that seems to be getting sort of, yeah, around 30 seconds. So while we wait for that, I'm just keeping a close eye on the tidal bell as well, which is just over the cliff just there. just to see if the sea gets low enough just to reveal the bottom half of the tidal bell as well, so we can shoot back down there and try and grab that hopefully. But Steve's just gone back to his van to go and get a cup of tea. I've just had a coffee and just enjoying this and waiting for the clouds to hopefully come over. Right then, executive decision made. These clouds are not doing what we want them to do. So I think we're going to head back down towards the tidal bell, because we have just noticed that the sea has just started to dip down enough to almost see the bottom of the tidal bell there. So I'll see you down there. So we're back down at the tidal bell, and I've just taken an image here in portrait orientation of the tidal bell itself. It's pretty much again in the centre of the frame, and I'm putting the horizon pretty much bang on half in the image. But what I might end up doing though is in post is actually opting for a 4x5, because the sky's got really no real interest in it at the moment. So I'm not too sure. I'll decide on that when I get back in post. Again, possibly thinking black and white, or opting for at least something that's quite muted in colours, because it is quite a muted colour sort of scene. So yeah, we'll have to see. But taking that shot, so I'm going to pop it on screen. Still struggling with exposure times, because it is slightly breezy, so I'm just having to be really careful, because every now and then I'm getting a little bit of blur in the images. So just taking multiple shots, trying to shelter the camera as much as I can, just to prevent any camera shake as much as possible. So yeah, quite like this. Let me pop this one on screen now. Right, so this is about the 7th take. I've had dogs running in, I've had reindeers running in, I've had people walking through my composition. Yeah, so I have taken another photo, again in portrait orientation, but I'm incorporating the waves that are breaking against the coastline here. So you've got this sort of white band at the bottom of the frame, and also you go into the blue of the sea itself. And again, I'm smoothing that all out with the 10-stop filter, going for about a 25-second exposure. But then I've taken another shot for the sky, and there was a cloud that just came along and was just directly above the tidal bell there. So I've taken the filters off for that and taken a faster shutter speed for that, just to freeze those clouds. Yeah, it looks quite nice on the back of the camera. So I'm going to pop that one on screen now. Glad I finished this take and no more distractions. But yeah, let me put that one on screen for you now. Right, so I think we're done for the tidal bell. I think we're going to head back up now towards the lighthouse, because the clouds do seem to be building up again. It seems to be one of those mornings where we're just sort of flitting between two different compositions, but wow, what a morning. Really enjoying this. Don't get to the coast enough. All right, we're back at the lighthouse. And it's teasing us, because when we were down there was loads of cloud up here. Now we get up here, it's gone. We just cannot win. We're pretty much done with the tidal bell now anyway, so we've got a bit of time to wait here and see what happens with these clouds. There are some right in the distance, but it's just not enough for what both me and Steve have in mind for a shot. So yeah, I think it's going to be a waiting game. All right, so we've been waiting around for quite a bit now, and still got blue skies unfortunately. So I think we're going to call it for this location. It's been absolutely fantastic to come here though. I mean, don't get to come to the coast very often, but when I do really enjoy it. So yeah, maybe that would be a bit of a New Year's resolution for me. Try and get to the coast a bit more often. But anyway, from Happisburgh Lighthouse, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give us a thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed it, it'd really help you subscribe to the channel. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. See you soon.